The Toyota Innova Zenix is the latest in a long line of legendary people movers from Toyota. They're pretty much proud of the fact that they've come up with the MPV itself. I believe that. So from the Tamaraw Revo, the Innova, now you've got the Innova Zenix. What is going on, guys? Roy Robles here from Zigwheels.Ph, and today we'll be reviewing the new 2024 Innova Zenix Hybrid. So let's start off with the design of the new Toyota Innova Zenix. I'm going to start calling this just the Zenix from now on because that's probably what everyone will be calling this. The designer of the Toyota Innova Zenix is the same one that designed the Toyota Sienna and the Toyota Noah, which is a minivan in the States and some sort of K MPV in Japan, respectively. And you can definitely see this design touches right here, but they've actually made this more distinct and kind of the same design as the previous Toyota Innova, as you'll see later on. I particularly like these LED headlamps, LED fog lamps, you'll see that right below, and this combination DRL and turn signals right here in the middle as well. Kind of give you that same Innova vibe. Same, but different this time around. You got an actual grill right here with actual holes, because you will definitely need that to cool that 2-liter hybrid engine under the hood, which we'll be talking about later on. You got a camera right here in front, which means that yes, this got 360-degree camera system all around, which is part of Toyota Safety Sense, and that is something that I really appreciate, especially for a top-of-the-line MPV that we have right here. You'll see and appreciate a lot more of those subtle changes that further improve on the previous generation Toyota Innova. For example, you still see the same Innova body style and body shape right here. You got these 18-inch alloy wheels right here, which kind of resembles the Toyota Fortuner, and it's got 50 series tires there. But understand that if you got bigger tires right there, it would probably be a lot more comfortable inside, but that would affect the turning radius and the fuel economy as well. So this is probably just right for me, but those wheel wells here, it could probably fit in bigger tires if you ask me. You got black plastic cladding all around. Although it's not a crossover, it still is an MPV. But this time around, it's no longer carrying the same truck-like chassis as the Innova, so you could probably call it a crossover MPV, I guess. You got 188 millimeters of ground clearance, which is just right for our pockmarked roads. And what I appreciate about the Innova Zenix is that even though you got a 360-degree camera system, the cameras right here on the side mirrors aren't as pronounced as others, making it look like a Mickey Mouse style with large earrings and such. It's actually hidden right here on the side. You wouldn't be noticing it if you weren't looking for it, which is something I appreciate. Now, right here on the D-pillar, if you remember the previous generation Toyota Innova, the D-pillar is actually tilted backwards in a way, further reducing its visibility, especially on the inside. This time around, it's tilted forward, giving you a more SUV, a more crossover look without looking like a van at all, giving you a more dynamic design, which is something that I really appreciate. You got the hybrid badge right there on the side, so you can tell the MMDA officer, if they didn't see the color of your plate number, that you are carrying a hybrid vehicle. Overall, the side profile is definitely just right. It doesn't have dramatic character lines. It's not really sporty. It's not meant to be. It just looks like a loaf of bread, which is actually on par with the type of MPVs that people are looking for. And the reason you get platinum white is to hide these chrome handrails. What do you feel about that? Heading over to the back of the Toyota Innova Zenix. Hey, who brought in the RAV4? Now, this reminds you a lot of the Toyota RAV4, that is by design. They've applied the same design language right here in the back, and I'm a happy camper because of that. Now, a few things that I would have changed probably is this one right here. It's got a chrome bar right here connecting the two tail lamps. These are blacked out tail lamps, by the way. It looks like they have eyeliner on it. Emo days are here again, I guess. I would have appreciated even more if they would just color this piano black, or would have connected it with an entire light bar right there. But overall, I'm not complaining. You got this spoiler up top with a huge third brake lamp there, and the exhaust port really isn't protruding that much, again, because this is not a sporty vehicle, but you can see it right there on the left side, right side, if you're looking from here. And you got these sporty bits right here on each side as well. The Innova badge still is there with the same font that it has ever since it was first released. Again, within 5 or 10 years time, we'll be losing that Innova badge and be just called the Zenix, because it's got many badges right here on the back for us to appreciate it even more. I love this black line right here on the particular edge of the hatch, but it just adds a little bit more sporty. But hey, again, this is not a sporty vehicle, so don't expect too much. One thing that I do appreciate about the Innova Zenix, though, taking its time, talk amongst yourselves, is the power tailgate. Once you lift off the power tailgate right here, you got a lot of space. Again, this is a 3-row MPV, but even though you've got the third row up, you still have a lot of space to work with. As you can see, you've got my go bag right here, my bag, camera bag right there. And again, very Toyota. The third headrest does have its own slot right here on the side to keep it neat and clean. And if you need even more space, you can actually fold down the third row seats like so, and it folds flat. Hold on. It does fold flat. So one of the advantages of carrying or removing the body on frame structure of the previous Toyota Innova is that you have much more space. The TNGA or the GAC platform that the Toyota Innova Zenix rides on is a unibody design, which gives you access to a flatter floor, so you don't have to worry about all the differentials, all the suspension parts underneath. It enables this to have a really flat floor right here, giving you access to almost 900 liters of space. It's also got a compartment made of hard, tough plastic, and underneath it, you got a nice shelf to hide your stuff in. So you won't be complaining about having a lack of space right here in the back, but most Toyota Innova Zenix owners would keep it like this, because the reason why you would get a Zenix is the 7 seats. And that's what we'll be checking out later on in the video, if this posts any quicker. But yes, overall, the exterior of the Toyota Zenix is definitely Toyota through and through. In fact, it's 3 Toyotas. The front reminds me a lot of the Toyota Fortuner. The side, the Toyota Innova, the previous Toyota Innova. And the back, Toyota RAV4. So if you don't believe that this is a Toyota, despite the badge, the design will definitely give you a lot of clues. All right, so I'm starting off our interior feature of the Toyota Zenix inside and here on the second row seats, because the second row is where it's at. This is boss. Boss indeed, because you've got 2 captain seats in the second row, and because this now runs on a unibody chassis, the Toyota's GAC platform, you got a completely flat floor right here in the back. One thing that I would probably be a little iffy about here is these mats here, because they absorb all the dust, all the grime, and they will never leave you until you change it. But I guess this is what the type of customers that the Toyota Zenix is after. These particular, like, these look like bath mats to me. But anyway, yeah, it keeps things nice and tidy inside. And I love this nice little cup holder in the middle, so you can just fold it up and down like this, like so. You can actually move someone over to the back right there. I'll be checking out the third row seats later on, by the way. And these captain seats are they're all right. I mean, they're definitely all right. They're not the most luxurious, but they definitely do the job. So you got power seats here. It controls the ottoman going up and down, and another switch right here to tilt forward and back. Now, as you can notice, it does take some time for the settings to adjust themselves, but thankfully the forward and back is a simple lever right here, so you can move back and forth like so easily, so no problems. So in the interior, you got these nice brown leather material inside, although you have some zippers exposed, so you definitely know that these are just seat covers. But I like and appreciate these seat covers. They're soft and soft to the touch, which is easy. You got aircon control buttons right here in the back as well, which is nice. And you have a button to turn on the light strips here. These strips, you can barely see them in the daylight, but at night they do make a big impact, especially when it's dark and you don't want it to be too dark. You want to have ambient lighting, so you got it right there. Unfortunately, they're just blue, so you can't change the color of these ambient lights, but I'm glad that it's there. So you get aircon controls right here. The AC vents are right here on the side, so there isn't anything obstructing your way, unlike in the Toyota Avanza, where you can find the aircon vents right here on the side, and those are just aircon vents. These are actually nice aircon vents right here on the side, again improving visibility. You got two USB-C ports right here. Overall, it is a very nice feeling. If you remember the Toyota Innova before, it was really, well, it wasn't that bad either. I mean, it had a V variant which had captain seats, but it's not going to be as comfortable as this right here, which is important because the Toyota Zenix is up against some stiff competition, which we'll be mentioning later on, and they need a little few niceties that can keep them on top. So right now I'll be checking out the third row seats before we head onto the front and see how I fit right there. All right, so for me to get to the third row seats, I can just slide this right down. And thanks to this little room right here in the middle, just slide over to the back. Oh, well, this is surprising. All right, so let me just adjust the seat a little bit. What I usually sit to, yeah, there you go. Now, again, there's not much room for myself to sit right here in the back. But I can imagine a normal-sized Filipino would probably fit here in the back, no problems. You got two cup holders, and you got a 5-volt socket. 5 volt? No. Anyway, you got a charging socket right here, so no problems. You got hooks as well to move this forward and back, as you can see right here. So if you need more space, you can move it. But if you got someone that's seated in the second row, just a little bit, it's fine. No toys here to speak of, apart from the aforementioned power socket and two cup holders. And yeah, because of the flat floor, it's fairly comfortable inside. It's just not going to be comfortable for my own taste. Now let's head over to the front seat before we drive off so that I can show you all the features that we have here in the Toyota Zenix. All right, so that's enough enjoying myself in the back right there. So back to the business end of the Toyota Zenix. I'm right here on the driver's side, and I can see that you've got a ton of buttons. So you got your AC buttons right here. Your shifter column is right here in the middle. I'll be explaining more about that as well. Your electronic parking brake, automatic brake hold, drive mode, EV mode, and traction control buttons are here, and even your cruise control buttons are here on the right side, and media buttons on the left, as well as buttons to control your menu system on the digital gauge cluster, digital screen in the gauge cluster right there as well. You got your camera buttons, your camera view here on the side, and as well as a button to control the rear power lift gate, which is nice. Now, a few pointers though. A lot of people might find this a little bit off-putting or be surprised about the location of the shifter, but guys, this is easy to get used to. You got a nice center column here anyway. So you got two plastic paddle shifters on the back. This is an eCVT, an electronic CVT, which is a dedicated transmission system by Toyota with their hybrid system. So this would simulate a little bit of gears. It's a nice steering wheel that is both adjustable for both reach and rake, but the seating position seems to be a little bit too upright for my taste. But then again, I remember this is an MPV. The hip point right here is a little bit high, kind of resembles an SUV, kind of like the Fortuner in a way, where you can see actually everything on the road. This is the lowest setting for the power seats here, so you won't get any lower than this, which is fine. But you do have a complete set of adjustments for both the seat going up like this for tilt, going back and forth, front and back, tilting like that. Unfortunately, it does not have lumbar support, and for a guy my age on the wrong side of 30, I'm starting to appreciate a little bit of lumbar support, which this thing does not have. But fortunately, this is a very comfortable place to be in. It's pretty wide in the inside. Remember, the Toyota Innova Zenix is actually bigger than the Toyota Innova in every key aspect, and it's a unibody design too, so the Toyota engineers have a lot of space to work with. A huge touchscreen infotainment system with both wireless Apple CarPlay, but unfortunately no wireless Android Auto. You got a USB-C port and a USB-A port. The USB-C port is only for charging. You will still need to use a USB-A connector to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay if you may. You've got a nice shelf right here in the front passenger, as well as another power socket and a really spacious glove box there. I appreciate that having that shelf there because you could put all your stuff in, but it's got the ledge, so in case you were driving spiritedly or even through canyon carving with the Toyota Zenix, it won't fall off that easily. Plus, the center armrest is nice and padded, and it opens up in a weird way right here on the side. Easy to reach for the driver in case you need to reach something. Overall, the interior of the Toyota Zenix, the designers were able to maximize space inside. But the designers didn't forget about ergonomics and easy of accessibility for the driver and even the passengers. All right, so we're now behind the wheel of the 2024 Toyota Innova Zenix. This is the Q variant, which means you have a hybrid under that hood. So you got a 2-liter Atkinson cycle engine, and it's made into a small electric motor. This is the first time that we're seeing this particular setup in the local market. This is actually the same engine is actually in the Toyota Prius, which means it's a pretty peppy engine, I've got to say. You've got 186 horses under the hood and a total max torque of 188 Newton meters. Now you might be saying that's pretty low for an MPV. You won't be able to pull anything with that. Let me tell you something. This is a hybrid engine. The 188 Newton meters of torque. That's for the that's pretty much how Toyota computes things. So the torque that you're getting here is actually going to be significantly more than what you have on the spec sheet. They like to be a little conservative that way. So again, the engine is mated to an eCVT system. It's not your regular CVTs, it's an eCVT. Now, when it comes to highway runs, cruising, it does get a little bit drony inside the cabin here. But thanks to some improved NVH systems, you barely hear the outside world, but the sound from the engine bay does permeate through the cabin, so it gets a little drony inside. But you can drown that out with the speaker system. It has a very nice sound system inside, I gotta say. So it's nice if you want to play your Beanie. So whatever your so whatever your bias is with Beanie baby. So when it comes to suspension, you've got your standard McPherson struts up front and a torsion bar rear suspension right there. Now the thing about that though is that it can get a little stiff inside. I mean, the suspension is set up in a way for comfort, of course, but because the car is heavier, thanks to the electric motor and the battery that you've got inside here, our picky passenger says that you won't feel the bounce, but you can feel the vibration. All right, so now for the much awaited statistic that you guys have been waiting for. Let's talk about fuel economy. All right, so in the city, I was able to get 14 kilometers per liter in the city. That's with heavy traffic. If you know the route that I go through daily, that is nothing short of amazing, because usually I get 5 to 6 kilometers per liter with a normal ICE engine, much less an SUV, but this one, 14 kilometers per liter. And out on the highway, it gets even better. I get 23 kilometers per liter on the highway, and I was able to test that. It was just freaking amazing. It's something else. But I stepped it up a little bit. So that's with eco mode turned on. So with eco mode, you have this nice eco score that you're getting right here on the digital screen between the gauge cluster. The higher the score you get, the better that means you've driven eco-wise, all right? But here at Zigwheels Philippines, we always go with sport mode. If you go to sport mode, it automatically disables that eco score right there. You might as well forget it. But with sport mode turned on, you can use all the power that you have. At the same time, it charges the battery even further because the engine is working double time. So with sport mode, 12 kilometers per liter in the city, and that has been, wow, 12 kilometers per liter in the city with sport mode turned on. It's crazy. I haven't tried sport mode on the highway because I really didn't have the need for it. But in the cityscape situations, you definitely need to go sport mode, for me, in my opinion, because you need to squeeze through tight traffic. Stop and go traffic is easier if you just tap on the accelerator. This one, the CVT is really smooth. So there you go. 14 in the city, 23 on the highway. That's why you got a hybrid. Now, when it comes to safety features, the Toyota Innova Zenix is definitely not lacking with any of that. It comes with a complete suite of Toyota safety sense. So that means you got lane departure warning, lane keep assist, you got blind spot monitoring system right here, you got a pre-collision assist, which means it's going to warn you if you're getting a little bit too close to the car in front of you, and it's going to assist you as well with emergency braking. You got dynamic radar cruise control, which is adaptive cruise control. You also have a 360-degree camera system around, and of course airbags, ABS, electronic brake force distribution, traction control, all the standard features as well as the advanced features. You're not going to be asking for more from the Toyota Innova Zenix. All right, so one thing about the safety features of the Toyota Innova Zenix, it also has a pretty good proximity sensor system around here. So the sound gets significantly louder. So right now it says we're getting a little bit too close to the car in front of us. But if it gets too close, I'm trying to activate the sound, but it's not activating itself. It sounds like, there you go. It sounds like you're playing basketball and you're calling timeout. Because timeout, you're getting too close to the car in front of you. You got two drive modes with the Toyota Innova Zenix. You got normal, eco, and then you've got power mode. And with power mode, you get to use all 186 horses and whatever number of torques that you got under the hood. And yes, it can definitely pull thanks to that 2-liter hybrid engine. I almost wish that you put this same engine on the Corolla Cross or the Corolla Altis. I wonder how that's going to feel like. Toyota, maybe put this in the GRS next time. This is good. Right, before we continue our final thoughts, I'm heading over to the second row seats because it's about dang time that I tried out and become the picky passenger here in Zigwheels, Philippines. Right? All right, so this is me enjoying the second row seats of the Toyota Innova Zenix. We're gonna test out its comfort levels while driving, so here we go. This is nice. It's nice to be driven, especially in a car like this with nice captain seats, leather seats, and an ottoman right there. And as just driving, we're always safe right here, but hey, it's still very comfortable. I'm starting to see what he's saying, where it's not as bouncy, but you can feel the rust. You can feel the suspension travel just a little bit, but the body's body control, the dynamic body control right here inside, is trying to keep the overall body straight as possible, pliant, but you can definitely feel the suspension. But it is light years away and definitely more comfortable than the Toyota Innova that we've driven before. That much I can say. All right, so let's start off with pricing. Pricing for the Toyota Innova Zenix starts at 1,670,000 pesos for the entry-level V variant. That's right, the V variant is now an entry-level variant for the model. So with that, you definitely get well, you won't get the hybrid engine. You got a 2-liter naturally aspirated engine, which still makes a good power. So you also get, you do get captain seats right there as well, but you will definitely lose Toyota safety sense, but you still have the backup camera and rear parking sensors. So that's just fine. So everything's pretty much the same, except that you lose a couple of power operated features such as those advanced driving assist controls. But everything else stays the same. All right, so now if you want to get this is as tested, the full fat version. This one is at 1,953,000 pesos. But if you want to get this pearl white color, you'll have to add a little bit more extra, 15,000 pesos. But some people definitely see it as a worthwhile investment, adding a little bit more pearl white to their lives. But personally, I would probably like the gray one, which is nice. But this is definitely one thing that really stand out there, a white top of the line Toyota Innova Zenix. This is cool, definitely cool. So a few more things that I noticed here in the back is that you got these huge windows that close all the way down right here. Some other cars would just stick right there for some reason, but here the glass would go all the way to the door panels, which is nice. Again, visibility is great here. You won't feel claustrophobic. You don't get any panoramic sunroofs, but I actually prefer that. Being right here, I don't want to be struck with harsh sunlight. This is perfect for me. This is just fine. So comfort is nice. I would probably be, I see myself riding here for an extended period of time, even all the way to Baguio, even if you want to go raw. This is the perfect car for the passenger. So that is our full review of the Toyota Innova Zenix Q hybrid variant, and I really think that it carries the name quite well and is a worthy successor to all the previous models that came before it. Now, it does have huge shoes to fill in, but thankfully it's got really large feet. That's what she said. But what do you think? Drop me a comment in the comment section down below, and while you're at it, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so you wouldn't miss any of our videos. Thanks so much for watching. It's been Roy Robles from Zigwheels.Ph. I will see you guys next time.